Hello, lads and lasses, and all of my non-binary people in the world. I am Victoria, and welcome back to my channel. Tonight, we are going to be continuing the reading spooky stories videos on my channel. I'm very into the Halloween mood, which is kind of funny. I'm not usually a big Halloween celebrator, but for some reason this year, I'm just feeling very spooky. My bus is shook, my bus is trembling, my bus is quaked. Now, I will say in part one, I did that during the day. It was bright, it was light outside, and it wasn't as creepy. However, I was still getting goosebumps and like tingles and just very spooky vibes. However, it is currently 8 o'clock at night. It's very dark outside, it's very quiet. Leighton is not here with me, he's currently at work, so I feel like I might get a little more spooked. Also, I took one of your guys' recommendations and we're reading from the website Creepypasta. I have heard of this before, I didn't really know what it was though, but I'm on it, we're here, I'm spooked already. The fucking website layout in general is enough to make me fucking want to turn off my computer. However, I'm gonna find one of the top rated stories and we will dive in. Just a little self promo, I will be live on Twitch after this video goes live. We're gonna be playing some games, but we're also just gonna be chatting, talking, answering questions, and just really chatting about whatever you guys want to. So I will see you there. Let's commence the spook. Or is it, let the spook commence? I didn't go to college. Creepypasta would like to send you push notifications. Absolutely not. This is a one-time deal, sister. I'm never coming back. It's like a hit it and quit it. There's literally one about an Amazon Alexa. It says, my Amazon Alexa does more than just laugh. Like, okay, that's a little too modern for me. Okay, this one is titled, He Comes Closer When I Blink. I'm spooked already. I need to hydrate. At least if I die tonight, my skin will look good. So this one's kind of in like a journal format entry. So there's like different days, just to clarify. Father O'Brien, you've asked me to keep a journal, and here it is. It seems that relocating to Maryland was a waste. Moving from one house to another doesn't seem to stop anything, and the police are at a loss. If you are unable to help us, the easiest path forward is to just give up hope. Hope hurts too much if there is no faith to lift its wings. Day 1. Our first night on Hill Street did not offer any peace. The constant ticking of the clock was audible from every room in the house. We don't own a clock. Day 2. Georgia, 5 years old and our youngest, smiled and handed me a piece of paper. I drew a picture, Daddy, she offered with an impish grin. I took it from her to inspect it. The page was blank. Georgia, my sweet little T. This page is blank, I explained softly. Her face grew red. She stamped her feet. It's not blank, Daddy. It's a picture of our family. Put it on the fridge. Georgia almost never yells, so this concerned me greatly. But that paled in comparison to what I felt when I looked down at her and saw that she had no eyes. I should say, rather, that the whites of her eyes were in place, but nothing more. Her pupils and irises were gone. Only livid, veiny tendrils of red crisscrossed the alabaster surface. Georgia did not seem to notice they were gone. She grew louder and continued to yell. I slammed the paper onto the surface of the refrigerator and shakily affixed a magnet to it. When I looked back at my daughter, her eyes had returned. She was smiling. Thank you, Daddy, she chirped before skipping down the hall. Okay. Do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? Day 3. I had gotten out of bed in the middle of the night for a glass of water. I can't explain it perfectly, but humans do have a certain amount of echolocation at their disposal. Something about the way our house sounded was off. I stepped into the darkened living room with the hopes of alleviating my fear, but the discomfort only grew. I fumbled for the light switch and flicked it on. The entire room was upside down. All of our furniture was affixed to the ceiling as though it were the most natural state in the world. Lights illuminated the scene before me by shining upward from the ground. After staring for several seconds, I decided that the best approach was to turn the lights back off. This way, at least, I wouldn't have to see it. The rest of the house was, or at least felt, right side up. The living room appears normal in the daylight. Okay, just really quickly to interject in this story, I actually had an experience like that when I was very little. I woke up one night And, you know, I know what a dream feels like. I know what it feels like to have a nightmare. I know what it feels like to wake up and be relieved and be like, oh, that actually didn't happen. I had an experience where I woke up and everything in my room was turned upside down. I was so disoriented and I was so confused. So it felt like there was such a heavy weight on me. I walked out of my room, walked into the living room, everything was normal, walked back into my room, and then everything was normal again. But I know, like, to this day, that's the only really, like, spooky, like, paranormal experience that I've had. I know for a fact that it wasn't a dream. That's really, really fucking creepy. Day 4. The locusts are bad this year. Every garden on the block has wilted, except for ours. We planted tulips, but only snowdrops are growing. I have to mow the lawn twice a day to keep it from getting overrun. Day 5. A box arrived in the mail today. It had my name on it, written in a child's handwriting. There was no return address. Inside the box were 1,913 human teeth. Day 6. The refrigerator is now completely covered with drawings that Georgia has given me. Every single one of them is blank. Day 7. I get up before the rest of the family every day to inspect the house. The interior was fine this morning, though I did avoid the living room light. I no longer look in that room before dawn. There were footprints outside the door. The prints formed a long, muddy trail from the street. They appeared to come from a man's shoe. At least the first ones did. As the prints got closer to the house, they became gradually elongated. First 12 inches, then 13, 14, a foot and a half, and finally 2 feet long. The last 2 prints in front of the door were the width of my torso, and as long as I am tall. Day 7. I'm typing this on my laptop in bed. My wife has been calling me, softly and patiently, from the living room. Her voice is coming from the ceiling. I'm too afraid to go out there. Tell me, Father, what happens after the 7th day? Ooh, okay. Short, but very, very effective. I feel... okay. This one is titled Late Night Pizza. I'm hungry, so this is what I'm reading. It was 10 minutes until close when I heard the door swing open. Jingle, jingle. Ugh, a customer this late? It was my first day at Tony's Pizzeria, and I was eager to get home. My manager, Mason, had to leave early. His infant son had a fever, and I was left all alone to close up. Sighing, I put down the broom and made my way to the front. Hi, may I help? I stopped. The store was empty. Everything was as I left it. The chairs lifted onto the tables, the lights dim, the silverware and Parmesan shakers sitting on the shelf above the garbage. Hello? I called, but only silence met my ears. I shrugged and went back to sweeping. The store was eerily quiet. The only sound was my broom scratching rhythmically against the floor as I swept shreds of mozzarella across the floor. Only 5 minutes till close, I thought, glancing up at the clock. Then I can finish cleaning, lock up, and get out of here. But I had scarcely swept another few feet when I heard it again. Jingle, jingle. I dropped the broom and ran to the front of the store. Hello? Nobody was there, but this time the front door was open. Hello? I called again, louder this time, hoping my voice would reach the outside. Beyond the lights spilling out into the patio, there was total darkness. I couldn't even make out the parking lot or the trees. What if there's someone out there, watching? If there was, I wouldn't even know. I rushed over, shut the door, and turned the lock. Click. No pizza left for him anyway, I muttered to myself. I picked up the broom and began sweeping around the tables, but I couldn't silence the voice echoing in my head. What if someone's out there? I stared out the glass. The shadows across the patio shifted and swayed with the wind. What if someone's trying to rob us? I'm all alone. No weapons, no security systems, just an old lock on a glass door. I shook the thoughts from my head and continued sweeping. I was nearly done when, slam, a loud noise from the back of the pizzeria. I jumped. Hello? I called, starting to shake. I gripped the broom tight as if it were a weapon and stepped forward. Hello? Thump, thump. Hello? I rounded the corner. The back door was wide open. The stench of the dumpster in the alley filled the room along with gusts of cold night air. but no one was there. I ran over and shut the door. Then I dragged a chair in front of it and a stack of empty pizza boxes for good measure. It's a windy night. You're just scaring yourself. I took a deep breath, the mozzarella twirling and sticking under the broom. Just finish cleaning, lock up, and get out of here. I finished sweeping the back, then walked towards the front of the store. Slam. I jumped and ran to the back door. It was wide open. The chair was kicked over, the pizza boxes were widely strewn about, but the room was still empty. That's it. I closed the door and grabbed my coat. Then I ran out of the store, through the shadows, until I reached the familiar cold metal of the car. If he fires me for a dirty floor, so be it. Better than getting murdered over here. I yanked the door open, dove in, and pulled out of the parking space. As I turned on the main road, I heard it. Tap, tap, tap. A soft clicking sound above the rush of the car. Tap, tap, tap. I tried to ignore it as I drove, but it got louder. Tap, tap, tap. It sounded like it was coming from behind me. Heart pounding, I slowly lifted my eyes to the rearview mirror. And there, breaking the darkness of the back seats, was a man's face. I screamed. The car swerved wildly, narrowly missing the gutter. I jolted to a stop, leapt out of the car. Then I pulled out my phone and called 911. 911, what's your emergency? There's someone in my car. They were trying to get in the pizza shop as I cleaned up. And then, I stopped. I could see through the window that the back seat was completely empty. The next day, I came into work shaken, but Mason only added to that. You didn't finish sweeping the floor before closing up, he yelled. The entire half has bits of food, even a dirty toothpick. He sat down and sighed. I'll let it slide this time, but if you do it again, I'm going to fire you. Mason, I'm so sorry. I would have cleaned it, but... He eyed me suspiciously. I'm not one for excuses, you know that. I know, but I swear, this happened. The front door started opening. I thought someone was there, but nope, no one was there. Then after I locked it, the back door opened. I even put a chair against it, and I opened again. I looked at him with pleading eyes. I thought someone was trying to rob the place. And then when I drove home, I swear, Mason, there was someone in the back seat. Mason stared at me, and then broke into jolly goughs. That's just old Polly, he said. What? The guy who used to run the shop. Before he died in '02. He likes to keep an eye on the place. Mason shot me a smile, especially the new employees. Ooh, okay, well, this video idea is probably entertaining for you, but extremely frightening for me, so gotta love that. Love that for me. This one is called I Discovered the Meaning of Life. So, I discovered the meaning of life, or at least that's what my eager customers are led to believe. You see, 2 or 3 times a month, I post a listing titled The Meaning of Life to various auction sites. I couple it with a sappy picture of a sunset or rainbow and a description that reads, all views are subjective, results may vary. Most people wouldn't bat an eye at such a ridiculous listing, but there are some gullible folks out there that take the bait. When the bidding ends, I usually take home anywhere from $5 to $12. After I've received my money via PayPal, I ship out the item. What is the item, you might ask? Well, I scribble down an inspirational quote or life lesson onto a piece of paper and mail it out in your standard letter-sized envelope. The quotes are usually from famous writers, historical figures, or the Bible. Some of them include, if light is in your heart, you will find your way home. People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. It's never too late to be what you might have been. And that's it. One stamp, a drop in the mailbox, and my work is done. It's as simple as that. You might call me a scammer or a con artist, or perhaps even a plagiarist. And in truth, you are correct. I'm taking advantage of the naive people out there who are probably just looking for a sense of purpose in life, all so I can make a quick buck. But I'd like to think most people know it's bullshit and purchase my listing just to see what I'll send them. Besides, I'm a bachelor right out of college. So long as I can make a small dent in my phone bill and eat a packet of ramen each night, I'll sleep just fine. As you might imagine, I receive quite a bit of hate mail. I've learned to ignore angry emails and private messages on the auction sites. As soon as I see that it's from one of my customers, it gets deleted. I do, however, receive the occasional snail mail. It's unavoidable, as my P.O. box is listed on all of the envelopes I send out. It would be pretty easy for me to toss these letters in the trash with the rest of my junk mail, but I never can. Something about receiving a physical letter from someone, good or bad, compels me to read it. I feel that anyone who takes the time to write one deserves to have their voice heard, even if I don't really care for what they have to say. The more physical letters I receive, the more amused I am by them. To paint a better picture, here are a few of my favorite quotes from the fan mail I've received over the years. You're nothing but a glorified fortune cookie service. You'll rot in hell for the sins you've committed, mark my words. You're a real fucking piece of shit, you know that? It's reached a point where reading these letters has become the highlight of my week. I've even tacked up some of the better ones on a corkboard in my bedroom. You might think that's sick and a little messed up, but I think it's hilarious. Not all of the letters I receive are bad. There's one guy by the name of Red, no last name, that's all he ever writes above his return address, who mails me constantly. He sends me inspirational quotes in exchange for mine. I assume he's a repeat buyer who enjoys paying for and receiving cheerful messages in his mailbox every now and again. A man of class and dignity, my kind of customer. The first quote Red ever sent me was, "The fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time." This was a great first impression, as Mark Twain is one of my favorite authors. The return quote was much appreciated. As such, I hung it up next to the hate mail on my corkboard. Some of the things Red sends me, however, are not corkboard material. Some of the quotes he sends are morbid and depressing, and other times he'll mail me small packages containing little trinkets that I have no use for. It's a little weird, but I figured the guy is depressed and just needs a friend. Maybe the quotes he buys from me are the only thing that he has to look forward to each morning. Perhaps the things he sends me are his way of saying thanks. To me, it's validation that what I'm doing isn't completely sleazy. But here's where things get weird. Today, I received another envelope from Red. I smiled when I pulled it out of my P.O. box. His letters and gifts, no matter how odd, were just as much, if not more of a highlight to my week than the endlessly entertaining hate mail. Upon opening the envelope, however, my smile vanished. Inside was a photograph of me, taken up close through my bedroom window. On the back of the photograph was another one of Red's quotes. "You look so alone. Where's the meaning in your life?" Okay, there's goosebumps and then there's like literal skin crawling. I have, my eyes are like watering. Can you see? That's like fucking weird. Okay. To the person who recommended creepypasta, I don't remember your username, but you know who you are. You're the only person who commented that on that video. Thank you, but also fuck you. I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I hope you all enjoyed the spooky stories, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you so much. Bye. I love you so much. Bye.